Hello listeners, this is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
winners and losers of Enzo Maresca's appointment at Chelsea. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with lions. I've got Berth, I've got Chris. What were your moments from the last 2 days, the weekend?
I played golf yesterday. Very badly, but I played golf yesterday. So got a nice tan. Quite brown at the moment. So that was quite nice. Enjoying the sun.
Okay.
That's about it. Quite old now, ain't I really? So I'm transitioning well.
Oh, fuck it up. What about yourself, Chris?
I enjoyed the weather. Got out in the garden, and I enjoyed the Champions League final, to be fair.
Fair play to you. To be fair, I did in fact watch the US women's national team debut for Emma Hayes. 4-0 win, if you were wondering, listeners. It was I'd say it was decent performance from the team. I'm not going to pretend I've watched much of the US side before Hayes' arrival. I've watched the World Cup games and stuff, but I cannot fairly say if it was a huge step up in performance or if the levels were better. I don't know. Other than that game, what was my highlight? You know what, Chris? You're right. Champions League final, but not for why you think. The cameraman who decided to zoom into the soul of Karim Adeyemi at the final whistle of the at the final. He kept zooming and zooming and zooming into them eyes. Oh, maybe he was looking for a teardrop. That's beautiful. I hope you've seen what I'm on about.
I have.
Yeah.
Some camera people are so evil. So
you know
unfair.
what I enjoyed about the Champions League final?
Was it Ian Maatson getting rinsed?
No, it was Carlo Ancelotti proving that you can keep all of your tactics and all of your inverted fullbacks. Football in its very simplest form is, can you get your best players to do their job?
Yeah, that is. I mean, that there's a reason. If you ever want to go, oh, will Vinicius Junior win the Ballon d'Or over Haaland, sort of thing? Well, one of them turns up in finals. So
yeah,
I think that is harsh on Haaland because
No.
he's also
Is it?
scored. Well, yeah, it is. I think because he won the treble still last year. Oh, I know
Yeah,
what you're
but-
about to say. I know what you're about to say. Right, okay. You
How
can't
did he
say
perform?
it's someone. Okay, no, I'm sorry. You cannot say it's someone that literally scored about 48,000 goals last year. And
that
this
doesn't
year when
change
he
the
was injured
fact
for
that he
most of
doesn't
it.
turn up in finals.
but he has played already. He has played in 9 semi-finals and finals for Manchester City. He hasn't registered a single goal or assist.
Ooh, it wouldn't
Yeah,
be
but
like.
shut up, Chris. Shut up. All right.
Can you remember? Didier Drogba would never not turn up in a final. He lived
No,
for them
that-
occasions.
Yeah, but
that
people
was
always
his.
find an agenda for people. People always find an agenda for players, right? Drogba, everyone said he's a big game player, but then people come up to me and go, "Oh, but his goal scoring record in the Premier wasn't that good." Shut up. Shut up. Actually, shut up.
Oh man! Right, news time. You know what? This is actually quite an easy one. Jose Mourinho, he's heading to Turkey, but before he did or does, he had a bit of time, didn't he, on the weekend to share his thoughts on Chelsea. So I'm going to roll that VT.
See, Mauricio Pochettino just announced that he's going to part ways.
I have no idea.
Not set for a return there, though, no.
I have no idea. Tottenham, I have an idea.
Go on.
No, this is Tottenham, always fighting to be fourth, which would be amazing. Between the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, next season Europa League, of course they can win it. They look stability. They are investing more. Amazing club, amazing facilities, such a beautiful stadium. You can feel it. Chelsea, I really don't know.
I mean, some people have taken that to heart and gone that he's digging at Chelsea. I just like look, he's frustrated, isn't he, at the club's direction. I mean, probably as much as the fans are. I mean, he's always loved us. We've always loved him. And to be fair, I'm going to go a bit left on this and say that I absolutely loved how he took his shot at Spurs, fighting for fourth.
Yeah.
Took me out like a Roy Keane tackle. That's all I took from that was he was commenting about Keane. Keane. He was commenting about Spurs in just the classic. There we go. Jab. I mean, is it a big deal, or is everyone just going wild because it's a quiet news weekend?
I mean, firstly, I think I need to go Turkey as well. Probably for different reasons, but I need to go Turkey as well.
Fenerbahce fan right here.
Big Galatasaray fan. But yeah, I mean, Mourinho clearly loves Chelsea. He does clearly love Chelsea. I don't think he loves Spurs. I definitely don't. Like, he was a proper.
Well, they sacked him before a final. So
yeah. He'd have got Haaland to score in the final. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that one. But he is right. Like, you won't want to go to Chelsea at the minute because you just don't know what you're going to get. And he clearly loves the club. We always will love Jose.
That's true.
Yeah, he's very polarizing, isn't he? Whatever he says, there's always something that people will pick up on, and yeah.
What about you, Chris?
I mean, I think what it is, I think the reason why none of the people from the early sort of Roman era up to sort of when he left really agree with this new direction. And people are saying, I've seen some people online saying that it's saltiness or that still bear some grudges against the club. When you hear old players talking about it and Mourinho talking about it, it's not that. It's the fact that the new owners have come in and they've completely tore out the very fabric of the club that Romans spent like 20 years building. That we had the Real Madrid mentality of you win something, it doesn't matter how you do it. You win something. It was substance over style, wasn't it? Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Like, we wasn't always the best footballing team. We wasn't always the best team to watch, but we always won something. So no one cared. And I think now the problem is that now we're all style and no substance. And I think that's where people who genuinely love the club, like proper fans, not social media fans, and ex-players who have a genuine love and connection for the club, and managers as well, I think that's where the frustration comes from, that it looks now like we're a club who care more about how we play rather than the results.
That's pretty fair. There is one bit of other news. There was a lot happened today. I mean, there's Sanchez news, there's Amari Hutchinson. We'll probably talk about that Friday. But what I've got to talk about is the pathetic attempt of an appeal to overturn Reece James's red card that he picked up against Brighton. I know you've seen it. I know you've seen it, listeners, and I know the team have seen it. The report of what was said in the appeal, though, I've got it in front of me. It says it includes the claim that James was disorientated after being fouled from behind, and that Pedro made contact as he ran past, and that it had not been his intention to harm Mr. Pedro. He was simply pushing him away with his foot. My reaction, how the FA have not extended the ban for such a pathetic appeal, I have no idea. Blows my mind. Pushing him away with his foot. That would be like saying Zidane was just giving Materazzi a high five with his face. Come on, no one's buying that. Why did we do that? Who? Someone better have got fired for that. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? And who the fuck thought I'm going to put pushing away with his foot? Just, oh my word.
Apparently, I've seen since that. Apparently, that was a dig at the FA because that's the excuse they used when Harry Maguire wasn't sent off with Batshuayi.
I'm surprised we definitely didn't get an extended ban, because then we're mocking the FA and they'll just go, all right, then it's Chelsea. 5 games. Sometimes I didn't understand that.
I don't know. I really don't know why we bothered appealing. It was never ever going to get overturned. He kicked out. So you're not going to get that overturned. So what waste of time.
Well, someone had to do paperwork, and we don't usually feel sorry for the FA considering how awful their decisions have been. But Someone had to do paperwork for this. Someone had to do probably a bit of overtime for that. Like, can you imagine? That's another hater in the FA against Chelsea now for that. Oh my word! Oh my word!
I can just imagine. I can just imagine someone going up to Reece James and going, "Right, this is what your appeal is going to be."
I know.
You're say you pushed him with your foot.
Can you sign this paper, please?
Oh. Yeah, no. What you actually put in? No. That's what we put in.
Yeah,
you must be joking.
Pretty
like,
poor.
What on earth are they thinking of?
Yeah.
But yeah. Well,
one of them.
That's it, really.
Right, we'll move winners and losers segment. But today, instead of talking about a game, we're going to focus on the players who are the real winners and the real stinky losers after the appointment of Enzo Maresca as the new boss. Shout out to Henry Burrows for sending in that awesome idea. And of course, we start with the winners. Who we got? How many we got?
Well, I've got 3 and 3.
Oh,
yeah. And mate, I've stuck to the rules.
Oh, it's a good one.
Chris, what I will say about this is you did seem very reluctant to say 3 of them. So if you've got a problem, just say it. Totally chest.
Or, hey, at the end of the day, Chris is doing his job. He's doing his job.
Exactly. and that is all you're getting now. It's bare minimum, mate. Berth said he wants 3 and 3, so that's what he gets.
So, Chris, you've got 3. Who's one of your 3?
I've got Enzo Fernandez.
He's on my list.
I will have him for different reasons than you, though. I've got him purely because he's just got another manager who will give him time to prove himself again.
Okay. Okay.
And this might be the manager that turns his Chelsea career around, but I'm not holding my breath.
I mean, two Enzos, one club. What could go wrong? Look, I still feel he'll thrive in this system because he has to. I've got to say it. He has to. I mean, this has to work, and he has.
Well, if he doesn't, then I don't know what people are going to give him as an excuse next time.
That you are very fair in that judgment because he has to show us all the Enzo of the 2022 World Cup, which obviously post surgery, I believe he can and will do. I mean, obviously, some comments, will he go to the Olympics? That seems he's not. So he'll be going to the Copa America. And I saw as well some people going, it's not fair, he should go to the Olympics. Remember how much football he's going to play just after a hernia surgery. The Olympics and then the Copa America and then the Olympics, I believe it is. That's a lot of bloody football. I mean, especially in a short time. So I kind of understand why he's not allowed to go to the Olympics. Anyway, another reason he's a winner because obviously he creates opportunities in those tight spaces, and Maresca's preferred 4-3-3, which we talked about. He's going to be with Caicedo and obviously his partner. He's going to be pushing forward, operating in them pockets. And hey, I kind of feel that if Enzo doesn't thrive under Enzo Maresca, he's going to be sold next summer. There we go. There's I think that could be a hot take to some, but what are you going to do? He's not thriving. Let's just say it. It's like
it'd have to be, because how many managers would that have been then?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Bruno Potter.
You can't. Eventually, you run out of. It's the manager's fault if the common denominator is the player. If he's not performed under Potter, Lampard, Poch, and Maresca, that's 4.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Eventually, you've got to say, hold on, there's something wrong with the player here.
I think that's very fair. Berth, who's a winner for you?
I'm going to go for Cucurella.
Oh, he's on my list.
I think because obviously Maresca likes these inverted fullbacks, and Cucurella showed last year, or end of last year, that he is more than capable of doing that role. I thought he was fantastic. Obviously got a Spain call up as well, so that would give him more confidence. And you can tell he's a player that's just grown and grown and growing and found his feet at Chelsea. And I think Maresca will really like him. Because Cucurella can sometimes look awkward on the ball, but I actually think even though he looks quite awkward, he's actually a very good player with his feet. And I think in possession, he's very, very good. So I think Maresca will like that. So yeah, I'm going to go Cucurella.
Yeah, I mean, he was my first winner because I think it's just obvious. I mean, easy winner. I mean, Enzo Maresca. I've been told we've got to say Enzo Maresca when we're referring to Enzo Maresca, because just by saying Enzo, it's like, is it the keeper? Is it the keeper? Is it the player? Is it the manager? We'll just go Maresca. We should really start just going Maresca. But anyway, Enzo Maresca loves an inverted fullback. fuck's sake. Fucked up on the first thing.
Straight away.
Cucurella cooked, didn't he? He cooked in that role alongside Caicedo towards the back end of the campaign. And hey, got a stat for you. He played every minute of Chelsea's final 12 Premier League games. So for me, he's going to be the Ricardo Pereira in the double pivot because Reece James isn't going to be there, is he, for the first 3 games? So, I can't see Gusto doing that role. That's I don't know. I just don't.
I think Gusto's a different player. I think Gusto's very good with the ball at his feet, but in a different way. He's good at driving at people. He's almost like a winger, isn't he, at fullback?
Yeah.
Whereas Cucurella, if you put him as just a CDM, Cucurella could probably play and break up play, but I don't think Gusto could do that. So I do agree with you. But they're different sort of players. Both very good fullbacks. But
gosh, yeah, 100%. You know what? We'll do a snake draft on this almost. Berth, who's your second?
I'm going to go for Nkunku.
Oh, okay.
As long as he's fit, I think. Again, he's another player. Maresca likes possession-based play, and I think Nkunku looks the most comfortable on the ball out of our strikers, especially comparing him to Nicholas Jackson. I think on the ball he can drop in as at number 10. He can play out wide. I think he's a manager's dream, and I think Maresca will really like him. Obviously, a goal scorer as well. And I really do think he could be the X factor next season, as long as he can stay fit. If he keeps him fit and he doesn't beat him into the ground in pre-season, then I think honestly he could be an absolute revelation in Maresca next season.
Well, it's not like we're playing on any dodgy pitches this summer. Chris, who's your second?
I've got Levi Colwill.
Oh,
good shout, actually.
Nice. Okay, I'm curious.
I think because with the whole inverted fullback system, I think it's important that you've got a centre back on that side. If it's going to be the left back who's inverting, and we don't know yet, but let's say it's Cucurella who's inverting. I think it's important for that left-sided centre back to also be capable in left back positions, and Cole will prove that by playing left back a few times. And being left-footed, and I think Colwell is probably our best defender on the ball now. And obviously, if you're in a possession-based system with a slower build-up through the thirds, it's important that your centre-backs can play. I think Colwell could turn out to probably be the most important player at the back in this system.
That is an interesting shout. I hadn't thought about that.
That's a good shout, actually. No, yeah, that's a real good shout, actually, Chris.
Okay. I'll go with my final winner, Moises Caicedo.
He was my last one.
Maybe the similar reasons. I mean, for me, he's going to play the Ndidi role. You know, he was our second best player as we ended the season, and he's going to be a key part of the 4-3-3 in that role. And one of his top qualities that we've seen is his creative ball player ability. You know, and in a high possession style system, I think he's going to be putting that ability on full display. So I can't. You know what? He had an impressive end to the season, but I'm expecting a huge step up in his sophomore campaign as a Blue. I think the next season, I believe that he's going to have an absolute baller of one. So now I've said that, of course, he's going to have a baller of a season. Fact. Why did you have him as a winner?
I just think, like you said, he's going to be a very, very important player for us. Going to be that almost alone defensive mid, that destroying midfield, and it's big pressure on him, but again, as he showed last season, I think he's more than capable of doing it because he pretty much did that pretty much most of the season anyway. So
yeah,
and again, he's another player like Cucurella who's gained a lot of confidence. Literally just scored goal of the season, last game of the season, and young player, new manager, I know, but he kind of had that sort of manager at Brighton, that possession-based play at Brighton, so he'll be used to it. I think he's more than good enough. He looks a lot better now on the ball than he did at the start of the season, so. Yeah, big player next season, real big player. And this is a big shot. This could be a biscuit bet or a hot take, whatever you want to say. I think Caicedo, at some point next season, will hold the captain's armband for a game.
Wow. Oh, Chris, thoughts? Come on.
Yeah, I could see that, actually. I think I mean, we're in a dressing room for lack of leaders, so it's not hard to get the Chelsea armband. Let's be
Yeah,
fair.
no,
One of
100%.
us might have a chance at it. You never
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
I'm really
it's
looking forward
handed,
to
it's
my
handed
turn.
around. It's handed around like sweets or
Yeah.
To be
Jaffa cakes at
fair,
half time. isn't it?
Chris has gave me the captain's armband before, so I mean,
I
I've
have.
got that. I've got that experience. He took it off me pretty quickly, but I still got it from him.
Oh, Chris, who's your final winner then?
I've gone a bit rogue, and I've gone Raheem Sterling.
I understand this.
I was
do
tempted
understand
by
this.
that. I was tempted by Sterling.
Because I've seen a lot of people talking about Maresca likes his wingers to come inside and play almost as inverted wingers. But if you're inverting the fullback, I just don't see how that's going to work. I think the wingers are actually going to have to keep width, at least on the left-hand side, where you're not going to have a fullback overlapping. So I think I nearly put Mudryk, but then I forgot that Mudryk doesn't know what he's doing. So I put Sterling because I think he is good if you want a winger to keep width, who's got good 1v1 ability, still gets reasonable numbers in terms of goals and assists, in terms of output. I think I've seen a lot of people saying that they think Sterling's going to be sold. I wouldn't be shocked if Sterling was become a starter again.
Like he did at City, that sort of finishing off moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Mudryk thing's a very good point, actually, because we all know Maresca's not going to suffer fools. And if Mudryk is very Gattuso, when it's sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And that's the problem. You've got to be consistently good. Don't be consistently shit. No one wants that. No one wants that. So I don't know. He's not on my losers list. That's a tease, but I'll start with my first loser, which I know there's been some news today, but still going with it. And I've got our goalkeepers, because I think all of our goalkeepers should be worried that Maresca's going to throw them out the club like they're Barney Gumble at 2 a.m. in most haven't.
Except two-time Champions League winner Kepa, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 times Champions League winner.
Ollie's favourite player as well.
More. I know. And Ollie said to me, he said, just remember what Kepa's done for this club. And I was like, you're right. Remember, he knew. he knew in that League Cup final, he knew Sarri wasn't cut out for it. He knew it. And he was going to stake his claim for that bloody managerial job. And we didn't listen. But I'll tell you, look, a goalkeeper needs to excel at playing out from the back under Maresca's system. We know that, as discussed in our last show. His tactical approach relies heavily on a goalkeeper being adept with their feet, being part of the back line, essentially. And look, when I look at the 3 names we've got, no offence, Bettinelli, we know why you're here. You're there to go, yeah, come on, boys. Yeah, best job ever, isn't it, a third choice keeper? But the other 2, look, do they fill you with confidence with their footwork, their build-up play? Shot stopping?
No.
Yeah. I mean, Petrovic shot stopping, yeah, but with ball to feet. And especially as his potential centre-back hybrid. Look, we all know Kepa's footwork is as shaky as a toddler learning to talk, but
Kepa's footwork's better than those 2. Kepa's footwork is Kepa's actually really good with his feet.
I mean, on that analogy, Kepa knows a few words, while Sanchez and Petrovic, no, they know nothing. They're just dribbling. So, I mean, Sanchez doesn't fill anyone with confidence, but I can sort of see why the manager's going to give him a go, as much as it was in the news, because he's an expensive player. Look at it that way. No one's going to pay a lot of money for Sanchez, and you might as well try and get something to work with him, I guess. Petrovic always goes long with the ball, so I love Petrovic, but
interesting point on Sanchez though, because he was originally the number 1 goalkeeper at Brighton.
Yes,
who played a very similar way, especially under Potter. They built up slow from the back. Sanchez was very much part of that. I haven't seen it in him because he keeps kicking the ball out of play, but maybe he's okay passing it short. Maybe he's just not very good if he has to go over 20 yards.
Yeah. I think I guess it makes sense to try and use the goalkeeper you've got. I
think Sanchez will start pre-season ahead of Petrovic.
I still think we're going to get a goalkeeper. I still don't,
because I
don't.
think Sanchez, like I said, he has played in a similar system before, whereas Petrovic hasn't.
That's fair.
See, I know you boys. I know you boys.
Neither are good enough, are they?
No,
Let's be honest.
I'd rather have Kepa.
See, and this is gonna, and I know this is gonna get people like just disagree with me here, but I actually rate him as a keeper. That's why I don't think Jordan Pickford would be a bad shout to bring in. I honestly don't.
Can you see him playing centre back?
Jordan Pickford's good with his feet. Jordan Pickford's
To be
very
fair,
good with his feet.
Pickford has got a really, really good long pass on him.
Yeah. Pickford, look, he's got a mistake in him, but every keeper has. But he got like the second or third most clean sheets in the Premier League for Everton last season. Like Everton, yeah. He's very good with his feet, does really well for England. He starts every week. He's not a bad keeper.
Rather, to be fair, I agree with that because I'd rather Jordan Pickford than that Las Palmas goalkeeper who I've seen us linked with.
Agreed.
You know,
who's that? I'm
I don't know,
I'm googling because
someone who plays for I swear it was Las Palmas.
Alvaro Valles.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's got really good ball playing ability or something. And
oh yeah, we are. We're linking. Okay, we're linked.
There was loads of people on Twitter pretending they watched loads of Las Palmas games again.
yeah, exactly.
Oh
exactly.
my word! Right, Chris, who's a loser for you?
I've got Malo Gusto, and I've got this because I think if Reece James stays fit, I think Reece James will be the one who inverts.
Yeah,
I agree.
Into the midfield, and if he does that, and I just don't see how Gusto gets in. Then I don't see where he plays because he wouldn't even rotate with James because I don't think Gusto could do that inverted role. As Berth said earlier, he's very good on the ball, Gusto, but in a different way to what you need there. He hasn't got a great passing range, and I don't think he moves the ball overly quick in terms of 1 and 2 touch, having a good vision of the field in terms of where he's going to play, being available for little wall passes and things like that. He's more of a dribbler. He can go past people like a winger. So if we invert the right-hand side, I just don't see where Gusto plays, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Breaking news, Enzo Fernandez has not been included in Argentina's Olympic squad, as they have just tweeted it, and he's not in it. So there we go. He's not going.
Yeah.
We can confirm it now. Official. Berth, who's a loser then for yourself?
Mikhailo Mudryk, you actually mentioned him earlier.
Yeah,
Mudryk.
He's on mine too, by the way.
He's not on mine, but I'm not going to disagree.
To be honest with you, I think whatever manager came in, Mudryk probably still would have been a loser.
Yeah.
Because of how
Roberto De Zerbi?
Yeah, no, I don't care who it was. I don't care if it's Alex Ferguson. It still would have been Mikhailo Mudryk. And I mean that in the nicest way because I see glimpses and think he's a world beater. And I also see glimpses and think he's actually shit. He's so frustrating as a manager and you can see why people don't pick him.
But you don't know what you're going to get, do
you? Yeah, exactly. You talk about Enzo being sold. If you don't have a good season, Mudryk's going to get sold if you don't have a good season this year. And that's a fact. I honestly don't see out any other option, to be honest with you. I don't think he's very poor in possession. He can't invert, I don't think. I think he's an out and out wing. He needs to hug that line. And Chris said it earlier, he doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing at times. Out of possession. And that's a worry. That's a worry. And I don't see Maresca fancying him. I don't see him getting a run of games again. And I want him to do well. I really do want him to do well because I think deep down there is like glimmers of a good player in there, but he would be so frustrating as a manager. It's a good job Maresca hasn't got hair because he'd be tearing it out if he saw Mudryk play.
Mudryk, look, he's again, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. He did all right for getting a big move off scoring against Leipzig and twice against Celtic, didn't he? You got to say, he's done all right there.
Look, he's showed glimpses. He's actually shown glimpses this season. I thought actually he's all right. He scored some important goals, some very good goals, some against big teams and big moments. So I get that he has shown glimpses enough to keep him for another season. But again, I don't see it working out for him, unfortunately, and I really do feel bad for him. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but he's got to be a loser for me.
Do you want to share anything to that, Chris, or go to your next loser?
No, just on Mudryk. I think the thing is, I don't think a manager in a job like Chelsea, where you're constantly under pressure, will pick a player like Mudryk who's so unpredictable. He might win you the game, or he'll be the worst player on the pitch. And as a manager, you don't want players like that. You want players who you know are going to be somewhere between a 6 and an 8 every week, rather than someone who's either going to be a 3 or a 9. Those are your choices. And I think Mudryk will be one of those players who will eventually leave Chelsea after failing here, and he'll go somewhere like the Bundesliga, and he'll be really, really good, and everyone will go, we shouldn't have sold him, but we should have, because he'll be really good there, but he would never have been good for us. He's another one of them. I think the Bundesliga, I think he would rip up the Bundesliga with how much space they give you in behind and the direct football that they play over there. I think he'd be really good over there, but I just don't think it'll ever work out at Chelsea.
Well, I mean, look, a random one. Broja's just scored for Albania against Liechtenstein, so that's another 10 million on top of his price tag for the summer.
Oh, there you go.
You know what? My second loser was Conor Gallagher, and there's a reason. Of course, everyone knows.
Sold.
Everyone bloody knows the reason. It's not hard, you know. When you think of Gallagher, you think energy. You think of the Duracell bunny. No matter what, he just never runs out of the juice, and he's energetic, box to box style. It doesn't seem to fit with a Maresca possession based system, especially with that controlled, calm build up play. And the one key axe over his head is that pure profit price tag. I mean, I could see him lift a Ballon d'Or and our ownership would still go, got to be sold. It's got to be sold.
I have seen some people make that point that you've just made there, that he's not technically good enough to play in a possession-based system.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. Considering he had a higher pass success rate than apparently our most technically gifted player in Enzo Fernandez last season, then I just don't see where that narrative comes from. Also, Maresca did have Harry Winks in his team.
Yeah.
So you're telling me Harry Winks is more technically gifted than Conor Gallagher?
Oh, dear. Well, yeah, probably not. No, I'm just going based off what I think our ownership are going to go with.
Oh, yeah, I'm completely with you. It'll be because he'll get sold. And I can see our owners sitting there now watching the Euros, and if Gallagher plays for England and has a really good tournament, instead of thinking, God, we've got some player, they'll just think, oh, that's another 10 million.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'll state it. I do not want him sold. There you go. I've stated it. It's not.
I don't think any Chelsea fan does. I honestly don't think any Chelsea fan does.
I would be. I mean, I said a little biscuit bet on the Discord that come the first game of the Premier League season, Pochettino and Gallagher will still be at Chelsea. Well, one of them's already gone. So
I think he might sit it out, you know, and then just go on a free.
Yeah, fair fucking play.
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
Yeah.
You know. Hey, how many losers we got left? I've got one, so
I've got two.
You know what? Go for
I only
it.
said one, yeah.
I want to hear it.
Name both of them?
If you wish, go for it, yeah.
So my next one's Ben Chilwell.
He's on mine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just don't. Again, to what inverted fullbacks, I don't think he can do it. I don't think he's actually good enough on the ball. Yeah, he just.
And then he also can't play centre back, can he? If we invert the other side. So yeah, you're right.
He could play centre back if it's a left centre back in a back three. I think he could do that, but he's not going to play that system. So be very supposed to the players, and I just don't think Maresca fancies him. And I think with his injuries as well, I think he'll struggle next year. Ben Chilwell really do.
Yeah.
And then my next one is Nicholas Jackson.
Oh,
because not necessarily.
I nearly had him.
I love Nicholas Jackson. I think he's fantastic. He's an absolute weirdo, but I love him. Really good. But the problem with Nicholas Jackson is he's so erratic and so just his decision making is really poor sometimes. And he's another one, a bit like Mudryk. He's obviously better than Mudryk, and he's a really important player for us. But I think compared to Nkunku earlier, if you play as that one lone striker, I think he'd prefer Nkunku because I think Nkunku should play on the ball.
But he could play on the wing. I could see that happening.
He could, yeah, he could. But do I think he'll do that? I don't think he will. I think he's another player that I think managers will be frustrated with. even though, again, like I said, I think he had a fantastic season, very underrated season, but I think he can be very careless in possession, rash, and you can't, in a way, you never really know what you're going to get with him. Chelsea fans obviously love him, and rightfully so, but again, as a manager, I think he could be very frustrated by someone like Nicholas Jackson. So yeah, he'll be a loser for me.
The reason that I had Chilwell, because I think he's ordering his Uber to Manchester as we speak. Because I genuinely am, I'm telling you know what, I'm going for it. I'm telling you right now, expect those links to Manchester to start popping up soon. Because look, I love Chile, and on this pod, I always do support him, and I want him to do well because when he's fit, he's one of the best bloody left backs in the world. He really is. But that injury record over the last 3 years has been painful to the soul. You know, I've said it before. Ollie said it. The best ability is availability, and if you can't stay fit, harsh, but he's not worth keeping around anymore. And that hurts to say, but we have to be cutthroat in this club now, you know. And another big issue, Berth, you said it, the new style we're being imposing, it doesn't suit his game. It does not suit his game. He thrives as a direct counter-attacking full-back, wing-back, whatever. It's the opposite of what Maresca is going to want and require. I don't see him. I do not. That left side is going to be Cucurella or Colwell because of the inversion. I don't see how Chilwell can do it. If he does, whoa, bloody hell, awesome. I just don't see it.
No, I don't see
I
it,
agree.
to be honest.
Chris, losers.
So my last loser, I'm going the complete opposite to what Berth did earlier, and I've got Nkunku because I don't think he's going to play up front as the number 9. I think that'll either be Jackson or someone else that we sign. Like, there's so many links still to strikers that it seems that we are in the market for a striker still. And if he doesn't play there, where does he play? I don't see how you get in that system with the inverted fullbacks and the 2 number 8s. I don't see how you get Nkunku and Palmer in the team, and then the links to Elise as well. There's no way you could get Elise, Palmer, and Nkunku in the same team. I just don't see how you could do it unless Nkunku's playing up front, which I'm not convinced that he would do. So,
yeah,
I hope it doesn't, because I think Nkunku has the ability to be at least on par with Palmer in terms of importance, but I just don't see how he gets it. I just don't see how he gets in the team. It's like he's another one who might be one of those signings who was brought for one way of playing, and then we've gone and completely changed it.
Yeah.
So now he doesn't fit. I hope not, and I hope it goes more the way that Berth said, and he can fit in somewhere, because he is absolute class, and I think he even showed that last season in the few times that we did see him. But I just don't see at the minute, if he was picking an 11 tomorrow to play, I just don't see how you get him in there.
I mean, in a way, it's going to be a bit like the Enzo problem at the moment. We've got to, because it's going to be seen as we paid a lot of money. But yeah, there we go. There's our winners and our losers for the appointment of Mr. Maresca. There, we've got a good little track history of Italian managers, haven't we? So
I don't think we've had an Italian manager fail, have we?
Ranieri didn't fail, but did he win the FA Cup? I can't remember.
Well, to be fair though, and Ranieri, he did finish second in the league,
and he got us top 4. And if he didn't get top 4, Roman would have got it.
Let me check.
Knocked Arsenal out the Champions League.
What a night! What a night!
No, he didn't win anything with Chelsea.
The Invincibles, Arsenal. But I would say Ranieri was a manager of a different time.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'll shush. Quaresma's questions, and you know what? I've got 3 today. I've got Veb. He's asked if you had to choose between only one of these positions getting strengthened this summer, which would it be? Would it be goalkeeper, left back, or striker? Assuming that the signing will be a big upgrade to what we have.
Goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'd pick goalkeeper as well. I don't think what we was just saying about on the winners and losers. I don't think we need a left back
or a striker really,
because you're not really playing one, are you? You're either inverting Cucurella into midfield, so I don't need a left back, Or if I invert Reece James, the left back's got to become a centre back when we've got the ball. So I don't need one.
I mean,
And to be fair, going on to the striker's point, it's not like we didn't score many goals last season.
that's a good point. I mean, I think that I feel like we've proven that spending big on a forward is not the Chelsea way to success. I mean, Lukaku, Morata, Torres, Werner, Shevchenko. That's not to say some of those players weren't successful. We all know Torres was successful. I've said that before. He was.
Yeah,
successful.
but even so, he wasn't.
He wasn't the game. He wasn't the game-changing 30 goals a season forward that we craved, was it? That's what we wanted. And
our best ones of Olivier Giroud.
You also £32 million is the key figure. That's what we spend because
Nicholas Jackson
and the other two.
Costa was 32, wasn't it?
Costa.
And Didier Drogba.
There
you go. I mean, look, I don't think we need to spend north of 30 million on a goalkeeper either, because the ones we've been linked with all come in at around or under that mark. And I guess I've sort of gone away from the question, but look, I'd say a goalkeeper that suits Maresca's style is crucial, because I still stand by Sanchez or Petrovic. They're not great with the ball at their feet.
The problem is, though, is that you just said there, if that position was a massive upgrade on what we had, and the goalkeepers we've been linked to are not that. They're not a massive upgrade. They might be better on the ball, but they're not a massive upgrade.
I honestly think Jordan Pickford is a big upgrade on those two, and that's going to piss people off. But I think it is.
I think it's because of the club he plays for. It's not a top 10 team.
Look, I don't mind
Petrovic.
I think Petrovic has done a job for us, but I think he's a number 2 at best for Chelsea.
I mean,
I think Pickford would be a number 1.
Look! I mean, we conceded 63 bloody goals.
Yeah,
I mean, right. We know Villa's 61, Spurs 61. I don't care what Spurs do. No one cares what Spurs do. They always concede. They always fight for fourth. But look at the top 3. We're realistically, we want to be in the top 3. We want to be going for the title. And in order from first to third, it was 34, 29, 41 conceded. That's not even Liverpool's 41. You could go, that's a lot. 63, a third more. Come on.
I don't think a lot of that was down to the goalkeeper, though. To be fair,
Everton conceded 51, so even less than us. So have a think. That's all I'm saying, listeners. Have a think. Right. Moving on. Robert has asked, what is the over-under on how many matches it takes to hear the Roman Abramovich chants? I'm saying
I'll give it 1.
Wow.
I'll give it 1.
I'm saying if we do hear it, it would be over 12 and a half games. I can't say 1. That's too easy. I can't see it going that toxic that quick.
Oh, I don't know.
Did I just underestimate the entirety of our 5 years on air and the toxicity of what clubs are like?
I'll tell you what, I don't think Berth's far off, but I would say 3 games. I think if we're winless in our first 3 games of the season, you'll hear that and more.
Well, we find out next week. Do we next week? I've wrote it on the little...
yes, it's next week.
I've got it on our little spreadsheet about when we react and overreact to the opening of the Premier League fixtures. Right, final one. Party Paul asks, where is everyone's optimism levels before the transfers? Right this second, no, given this happens. Just currently... given it... sorry. Are we winning the treble, being 10, or are we getting relegated 1? So what's your level between 1 and 10 based on the squad and the manager right now? Between 1 and 10. Relegation and the treble. What treble can we win? Oh, the Europa.
I'll go 6.
I'm going to let Chris answer because I'm still thinking, because that Sanchez news today made me go,
I'm going to go 5, right in the middle.
Yeah, you know what?
There's too many question marks for me. How's this manager going to cope with with the scrutiny that he's going to be under at Chelsea? Yeah. Are some of the players who was good last year going to be as good this year? Are enough of the players in a mold to suit what the manager wants to do? Who are we going to sign? There's too many variables at the minute. I think
I was at 6. I'm going to be at 5.5 because that Sanchez news knocked me a little bit. Because I'm like, is it just gossip? I don't know. I mean, I'll feel confident when I've seen us take on. You know what? I was just looking at the pre-season fixtures. Wrexham, Celtic, Club America. After that, I want to see how the style comes out.
I'll tell you what, though, I really feel for Maresca here. I honestly do, because that should be 3 wins in pre-season, by the way. And I think anything less than 3 wins, and it could turn toxic before they even get back off the plane at Heathrow. It could be toxic if we don't win all 3 of those games.
I mean, I'm just looking at the stadiums. To be fair, we've got Levi's Stadium. That's all right. That's an all right pitch. Notre Dame Stadium. That's all right. Mercedes-Benz Stadium is stunning, and the pitch is pretty good. It's just then obviously we can go.
I don't think it really matters about the pitch. It
does. Remember what
it
happened
to us, because our players get injured anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't think it does. But hopefully, maybe it was Poch. Maybe that they couldn't handle his training or whatever. Maybe it's a new season. Maybe it's a new us.
Maybe. I mean, I'm just looking. I always look at the data of injuries on turf, because there's good turf and there's bad turf, and bad turf destroys ACLs. It destroys ACLs. So, yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see on that. How sad's that you watch a pre-season game now, you just hope there's no injury. You don't care about the result, and it's just like, oh, come on, no injuries again, no injuries.
You remember back in the day when you used to have pre-season in your own country?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the money, isn't it? We're bringing in a ton of money for doing this, but then it gets a bit stupid when you're starting to see like Spurs going off to Australia for no disrespect to Australia, love the country. It's just the club's decision to take the players literally hours after a final Premier League fixture. We're going to go on. It could have happened anywhere. Even if it was in the UK, I would still be saying, why?
Well, remember when we did one against Villa just before the Europa League final, and then Loftus-Cheek did his ACL, whatever it was, Achilles, whatever it was.
We know it's all about the money. We're not stupid as fans, but bloody hell! I mean, I can't imagine anyone goes, "Oh, that's a good idea. Let's go on a post-season fixture tour."
Post-season friendly should be banned.
They're high risk. Kieran Trippier got injured, didn't he, in the Newcastle Spurs one?
Yep.
He's playing tonight though, so he's all right.
So it's not too bad. He's not a Chelsea player. He'd be out for at least 2 years. Right. I'm going to end the Monday show. The game, Ross Turnbull's Tenaball, and this week's category is Premier League salaries. So I just want you to name, this is fun. I want you to name the top 10 highest paid players from the 23-24 season. And that's according to capology.com, not a sponsor. Work together and find out who's fucking overpaid. You know, salaries.
I'll tell you what.
I've got this already. The Man United squad.
The whole squad. Well, I can. You know what?
I'll tell you what.
Half of them are in the top 10.
3.
I reckon Marcus Rashford.
£300,000 a week. Yes, number 9.
Ridiculous.
He's number 9.
Number 9.
Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes is not in the top 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Casemiro.
He is number 3 on 350 British pounds per week.
Varane.
Yeah, Raphael.
340,000 British pounds a week, and he is 5th.
Although we can't troll them without trolling ourselves. Raheem Sterling.
He's on 6th spot with £325,000 a week, and that's it. We're no longer in it. We're no longer in the top 10 now.
What about
that's pretty good.
Kevin De Bruyne?
He is number 1, and he's on £400,000 per week.
Wow. Jeez.
Erling Haaland.
Number 2, 375.
So how many we got left now?
3.
What numbers have we got left?
4, 10, and 8. Listeners of this pod will actually know one of these players because we quoted his salary only recently. Me, mainly, when I said we could sign him.
Mo Salah?
He's on there, 350,000 a week. He's not the player, though, I thought we should sign.
What are the other 2 teams? Or you're not going to give that away?
Well, you should know because, but I feel like one of you should know because he was recently literally mentioned on last episode. Literally the last episode.
Okay, well, I wasn't on last episode, so I'm guessing
Chris,
that's
it
not
was
me.
the last 5 minutes of the show. Oh no,
Mikey. To be fair, you honestly think I can remember that back that far?
He was he was Hazard's headliner. Oh no!
Oh yeah, and I got that as well, didn't I?
You did. Come on.
Oh, Chris, come on.
Jack Grealish.
Yes, £300,000 a week. Who is number 10? I can't wait for you to lose your shit at who it is and find out that they're paid literally more than every other player in the league. Oh,
Martin Odegaard.
it's not, but it's a player that when you know the name, you'll go, "Oh, what?" You will. You will. Chris, I'm waiting.
You can give us
It can't. It can't be an Arsenal player. They don't pay enough.
Mikey, is it an Arsenal player?
Might be.
It's an Arsenal player.
It's an Arsenal player.
Is it?
An Arsenal player? Is it Declan Rice? Can't
It's
be Declan
not.
Rice.
It's not Declan Rice. See, it gets
Saka?
worse. No, gets worse.
Can't be Kai Havertz.
It's Kai Havertz.
Oh,
It is
my
Kai
God.
Havertz. He is the 10th most paid player in the league. Wow.
Oh my
I had
God.
to double check when I saw that on the Capology site. I was like, can't be right. It was. He's on.
I
how
don't
is he the
care.
10th
You know
player?
what? I don't care what that song and how catchy that song is. 60 million is really down the drain for that ball.
He is on more money than everyone in that Arsenal squad. I feel
That
so
is-
sorry for Saka, just looking going, why? I'm better than you. I mean,
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Academy players though always get shit pay, don't they? They
195
have to really
he's on.
work. They have to really work, don't they, to be like the top earner in a club. It's always a signing.
Oh
innit?
yeah. I mean, listen. I mean, this will give it away. So this is the top 5 players for Arsenal in order of salary. Kai Havertz is 1 with 280 grand. Then it's Jesus at 265. Declan Rice 240. Odegaard 240, and then Partey at 200. Saka's 6th with 195.
Jesus
Who
on
put-
260 is
Who
ridiculous.
put Thomas Partey on £200,000 a week? Thomas Partey.
Well, Jorginho's on 110. He's on less
It's on
than Ramsdale.
110.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Reece Nelson's on 100. I'm guessing that's because he had that really good that period of good form,
No,
and they just
I'm
went,
sorry.
Yeah, pay him,
I'm
pay him.
sorry. No way Reece Nelson has ever been worth 100,000 a week.
He's on the same money as Gabriel. They're one of their best defenders.
So one
That
of the
is
best centre backs in the league is on
Yeah.
the same amount as Reece Nelson.
Yes.
Who doesn't play?
Yeah. Zinchenko's on 150.
Honestly.
I feel so sorry for Gabriel. His agent needs to get on the phone and be like, sort this out.
Georgina on
Arsenal-
110.
Yeah.
Arsenal
Wow.
better hope though that none of their contracts are up for renewal soon. It's going to cost them a lot. If
The
they
only
are.
one coming up for renewal soon would be Partey because he's on 2
That
years
is
left.
mad.
Everyone else
and
is on
then-
like 4 or 5.
Madness.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's intriguing. There you go, listeners. Who's overpaid? We now know. Thanks for listening. Treat yourself well. We're back on Friday and we're going to be dropping a scout report on our brand new signing that's not official, but he's going to be official. It's Tosin Adarabioyo. Yes, I practiced that all weekend and I'm so proud. So till then, that is us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.